In a segment from Cargo Forwarder Global, I'm speaking with Alexis von Hoensbroech of Lufthansa Cargo, board member and responsible for product and sales. Alexis, you want to grow after you haven't grown in the last couple of years. So what is your growth path? What is intended to be done?
Indeed, that's true. We weren't able to grow as we originally anticipated over the last couple of years. And we now have the clear commitment that we want to get back to the growth path. We were very strong in the past years to develop our special products, our express products. This was very successful, but there are certain areas that were in a way underdeveloped. And one area is clearly our positioning in general cargo. Of course, general cargo isn't the most profitable part of cargo, but as we are a very big player in the cargo industry, we can't be a niche player. So we want to focus more on general cargo, make sure that we regain competitiveness. This isn't easy because the rate structure in general cargo has dropped very, very far, but this doesn't mean that we can't find ways to serve this market in an adequate way. So this is what we want to do, and this is what we are strongly working on. The second issue is that we also want to build more solutions around our customers and around their specific needs. So create package deals, network deals that serve both the needs of our customers, but also fill those capacities from us that are typically underutilized. And so together with our good customers, where we share joint visions and share joint growth visions, we want to do that jointly and support them and do this on a mutual benefit.
Okay, growth is an option, growth is the vision, growing again is the vision, but at the same time the Lufthansa board postponed the investment in a new LCC Neo, a big warehouse that you intended to build for at least 2 years. And if you want to grow, but you do not invest in your ground infrastructure, how does this work together?
Well, this works out actually very well because we have a very clear strategy. It's called Cargo 2020, and this contains many different components that we want to realize in order to be able to grow. So part of it is that we invest into a new fleet. This is already ongoing. We have already bought 5 new 777 freighters. We have 5 more options, and we are going to decide over the next years on those options and see how we can grow that further. We still have 16 MD-11 freighters that are actually not too bad either, especially now as the fuel price has come down. They regained a lot of competitiveness. And we have just renovated our most important IT system. Basically, the IT backbone of the whole group has been rebuilt and gives us lots of opportunities to improve our business. And of course, a core component of our strategy is our new cargo center in Frankfurt. The current infrastructure that we are using is about 30 years old and certainly not state of the art anymore, but it isn't too bad either. And of course we need to rebuild it, and this is also the understanding from our group board and from our supervisory board that we need to rebuild it. However, due to investment prioritization, it needed to be postponed. Nevertheless, the current infrastructure is running well, and of course we can use that on for a couple of years into the future. We will see what kind of adjustments and smaller investments we will have to take in order to be competitive. The good news is there's still some room to grow even in the current infrastructure. So it won't hinder us in fulfilling our strategy. And we will now, of course, have to see what this delay means and how we will move forward on this particular item. But to be very clear, it does not hinder us in implementing our Cargo 2020 strategy.
Actually, you're an astrophysicist, so you know a lot about planets, about solar systems, etc., about space. But now you're down on Earth, working for Lufthansa Cargo for now 150 days today. What are your first impressions working for a carrier that flies, let's say, from left to right, but not to the stars?
Yeah, very good question. Indeed, it's true. I've been working as a physicist, as a scientist for some time, but this is actually a long time ago. It's about 15 years ago, and since then I've done a lot on the commercial side in the industry. I've been working as a consultant. I've been with the Lufthansa Group for the past 9.5 years, doing a lot of different commercial jobs, and now for the past 150 days, indeed, I've been working for Lufthansa Cargo. It's very interesting. It's a really fascinating industry. It's great to be part of this global supply chain and to see the stories that are being written by our freight. It's actually a very emotional industry. It's a combination of the global flows of goods with the fascination of flying and the technology behind it. And it's an industry that's relatively small with many personal relationships, many very professional companies that work together and that drive this industry forward. So this is really fascinating, and it's actually great fun to work in this industry. At the same time, I think this industry has still a lot of work in front of itself. Coming from the passenger airline, where I've been working for the past years, I come from a world that has reached a very high level of digitalization. And I mean, every passenger knows how to work with smartphones and 2D barcodes and all this stuff. And this industry, the cargo industry, is clearly lacking behind in terms of modernizing its data and IT infrastructure. And in the end, in the 21st century, the trade chains and the flow of goods is not only flow of physical goods anymore. It's also flow of data that's going parallel to the goods. The need of transparency, what is happening when and how temperatures evolve and how shocks evolve. Every type of movement is happening. The need for transparency is growing, and actually on the end-to-end base, from the shipper through the forwarder, through the airline, through customs. And if we want to compete as an industry into the future, and if we want to grow and be successful, we need to tackle these items as an industry. And we as Lufthansa Cargo are clearly committed to drive this forward, and we won't stop until the last paper air we'll build is gone.
So a big workload is lying on your table, and all the best for the coming not only 150 days, but for the future. Thanks a lot for this interview.
Thank you very much, Anna.